Hello and welcome everyone to the Zelda 2 Randomizer 2025 Speed Gaming Live Online Async Qualifier VOD Restream. If I can get this off the screen here. Top 4 runners out of 12. We've got the seeds 1 and 2 back to back with the third one to be broadcast later tonight. At some point in time, we have an upstarts race between now and then, which we are trying not to overlap too far with. So we are going to get this show on the road. In the upper left, we've got Patrick, BKPKT Patrick. In the upper right, we have Trails. In the lower left, we have Tabby Orange. And in the lower right, we've got Big Slamoo. All right, well, these are in no particular order, by the way. But let's get this show on the road. I think we have them synced up. They'll be close enough. Trails does have a slight time penalty applied to him here, about 70 seconds or so. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and buttons here on the timer. Looking good. Using Patrick's audio. You can see our starting loadout on the screen. A little different for this event. We do start with the cross and the candle and the fire spell. We've got Fairytown right next door to start in Saria. As these runners, let me know if there is any particular issue with the audio, if there's any, if Patrick is too soft or too loud, just supposed to be in the background there. Mix sounding good. All right, all right. We do have clean audio only on Patrick and Tabby, Trails, and Slamoo. I do not have clean audio for this particular seat. Without going too in depth in the penalty, it was simply that Trails had some ROM corruption and started with spells he wasn't supposed to start with. The seeds, the async seeds were evaluated, and a penalty was applied as a result. Oh, we found Bagger's Woods on Slamoo's side. I know this is a seed that, while I'm not in the top 4 here, I did play this one, and I had a really hard time with this one. This one really threw me for a loop. I took 1 or 2 game overs early on. I was already starting this one off pretty bad. This one, this particular flag set does give the enemies either vanilla health or more, up to 50% more than the vanilla health, which does fall in line with your standard random health effect, random health shuffling that the randomizer can do, but it more or less weights it towards, being a little beefier than normal, whereas random health can end up rolling minus 50%. I tried to craft a flag set that was going to be a little bit more difficult. We had some issues early on with the flag set. It went through a few revisions, and this is where we ultimately ended up. I wish we could have let it cook for just a little while longer, but it is what it is. Here we are, and I will say that regardless of its difficulty, some people are performing extremely well in this. So we'll just have to wait and see what the results are after these 3 seeds. We will see some deaths early on. This cave right here was a really bad cave, this medicine cave. As you can see, Patrick picking up a pea bag out of there. This is the cave that I struggled getting through early on, and I was pretty upset that I took all the time I did to get through here just for a pea bag, as some of these other runners may be as well. But at Magic 2, Fairy does become castable, so you can just fly through the cave. Yes, the capture in the upper left is crisp and clear. Very good colors, good saturation, good RGB. Yeah, sometimes the best practice is going to be to just try to separate the enemies, because Slamoo's trying to fight the blue gorilla and the red Dyra together. It's just really not a combo that can be taken on such an early. I mean, he's 1-1-2 at this point. Tabby's also 1-1-2, but getting a little beat up by the bubbles. Bubbles can be kind of annoying. You've got a good rhythm on the Dyra, but then the bubble hits you and messes you up. Gives the Dyra enough time to throw. You can always just bring the Dyra back to the lip, the forward lip here. If this is Tabby, is this what he's going to do? You bring it back to the lip, neutral, jump over him, and just pin him up against the edge there, edge of the bridge. We do have 3 starting hearts. That is something that is part of this flag set. 3 starting hearts, 6 total hearts. Only 3 more hearts in the seed. Another pea bag for Patrick. I believe that was Pillar Pea Bag Cave anyway. The pea bag caves are all taken out of the item shuffle. It's just going to be simply pea bags. The small items are also not shuffled, which means the pea bag caves will just be their vanilla pea bags. All palace rooms will be their standard default small item. That also includes all overworld tiles as well. All right, so is Patrick going to be the first to get across Saria here? I think so. Trails is going to be hitting that Parappa Cave. There's, I believe it's P4 and a raft tile down there in the southeast corner if we hadn't seen it already. But across Saria is going to be the way to go. Yeah, there is another cave down there. I forget what that is. Here we go, Slammer ferrying through the cave as well. The thing is, you don't want to walk away from this cave. You know you're on an islands biome, and this is exactly my thought process here, is that being on an islands biome... Oh, right, we have to do tracking. My bad. I apologize. We're so rushed with all of this. Being on an islands biome, you know that the boots, if you play enough of this game, you know that the boots may just be right next door. And as a result, you don't want to leave the boots just sitting here. No matter how difficult the cave is, you might just end up banging your head against it for a while. Trail's also in that Pillar Pea Bag Cave for the $200 that's in there. With the pea bags in the eastern pea bag caves, those are going to be 500. So if you find the east pretty early on, it might just be worth going in there. In the earlier iterations of the flag set, experience was clamped down a little bit more, and so those pea bag caves were worth people's time just a little bit more as a result. But we've definitely wanted to lift that experience restriction. So now our experience values custom for this particular flag set are going to be -0 +1. So either the vanilla denomination for an enemy or +1 on the experience table. And that includes all enemies. I completely missed what Patrick... Was that the glove? That was the glove, yeah. Yeah, glove just sitting in Trophy Cave in this one. Yeah, we see that raft. Oh, I can mark the raft as well, is on the west. We saw... I do know... We see the cave. We didn't see the... We saw a bridge, right? To DM. Sorry, we got to get back in the rhythm of... it's been nothing but rush. The last 2 to 3 days has been nothing but rushing. We've got trails inside of, I believe, P4 here. A little beat up in this room. These Mowheads, pretty annoying. Gets the kill on the Iron Knuckle, but not really because he takes a bullet to the back of the head there. You can call them fireballs, whatever you wish to call them. They are blue in color, though. Patrick going to head through Jump Cave here. Tabby also in Pillar Pea Bag Cave. I don't know, seeing as these Pea Bag Caves are generally in the mix in the randomizer normally, this is something that is a little different than a standard flag set. And so I don't know how many people are warming up to this flag set and either not realizing that they're just Pea Bags or knew that but forgot about it because they're kind of on standard frequency where you just go into all the caves that might have an item. But I think these first 2 seeds, people are warming up to these. Second seed, we'll talk about the second seed when it happens. But woof. Woof. Oh my god. When the randomizer wants to be mean, it can be mean. And this flag set has already got a bit of a difficulty curve to it, especially in the beginning. Sort of evens out in the middle. Once you get a few levels, everything always feels better. That stays true in this flag set. But the end game also potentially a good bit more difficult than standard. All depends on how the randomizer wants to act. We do have upstab in Mito and downstab in Daruni in this one. Downstab is kept away a little bit further. Generally, the goal, the way that I've been playing it, is that I do my best to try to make that journey over to Daruni as soon as I can to get that downstab technique. With beefier enemies, the longer you stay without downstab, the more time you will have to sink into all of these enemies. Depends on how easy that east is going to be able to get to. Yeah, Patrick's saying he forgot about the P-bag stuff. Yeah, it is. It's something that's different. It's something that, even as I began to play with the flags, a long time ago, I started playing with taking the item caves, the P-bag caves out of the item shuffle. I would constantly, even just casual seeds, just forget. I just walk in there and then get the P-bag and realize, what am I doing in here? So, yeah. But again, you know, if there's an early east, right? An early east with the candle and the cross, you can just jump in that cave for free $500, pretty much. Those P-bag caves on the east are not that difficult to get through. The most difficult thing is going to be right there in the end screen. Looks like we've got Spell in Rudo, we've got Fairy in Mito, Shield in Mito, and Fire in Raru there. So Patrick hitting a dead in there after that bridge, gonna up an A. We've got Slamu doing a little grinding on the statue here. Tabby, I think, is joining him. 3-2-3 for Tabby, 1-2-3 for Slamu, although 2-2-3 right there. 3-3-3 for Trails, and 2-3-3 for Patrick. And that's another thing to unclamp the experience, is that people wanted to grind on these statues. If the experience is low, it feels bad to just grind on a statue. But in vanilla, reds are worth 100, and so they can be worth up to as much as 150, which these reds in this 3-4-6 pool are. There's GP as well. So we've got GP 4 and then the 3-6 there that Slamu is in. We don't know which it is just yet. Tabby going to be getting up stab as well. I did just inhale some pizza right before this, so hopefully we don't fall into a pizza coma during the async seeds. Nothing there in Magic Container Cave, just a 1-up. It is, there is a bit of a double-edged sword here, giving people starting items, giving players starting items, and then on top of that, reducing the hearts, right? So, real fast here, let's just see what's in Palace 4 for Trails. Now he's got to take a death. I don't know if he's on his last life. He could get a jar. This flag set does put blue jars 100% in the small drop pool. There's a jar. Is that enough to cast Fairy? Not yet. It looks like he needs another jar. Anyway, when you give players, just anything. When you start with Candle, Cross, and if the fire spell comes from a town where you need a spell item, then that's also going to take something out of the mix. So there are two with the potential for 3 items there taken out of the pool, and on top of that, 2 extra hearts. So 4 to 5 items being taken out of the pool. That's going to result in those 5 items just being junk as they get thrown back into the pool. So while we take 3 checks out of the game and bring it down to 19, unfortunately we do put 5 junk items back in the game, and so that does kind of make it only that there's 14 valuable checks out there, and you know, sometimes you can still find a bunch of trash check after check. We did see a heart there in Palace 4 on Trails this side. That's nice. That's obviously when you start with 3, that's a nice 33% bump in health. Tabby going to be getting the glove out of here as well. Please let me know. I have chat far off to the left of me here because I've got with 4 runners and all the trackers does eat up a ton of space on my desktop. So the chat is further off to the left, which I'm kind of glancing at here and there because these are async seeds and clearly I've played them as well. So I do have a bit of an idea for some of the locations and stuff like that I don't have to pay ultra close attention. So I'll be glancing over at chat every once in a while. Yeah, but just let me know if I miss anything. We've got this Palace 3-6 here for Patrick as well. I don't know if we've seen a window just yet. Yep, you see a room like this, it's a dead end on Patrick's side, but guess what? It's also a key, because that is its vanilla, that is its standard default vanilla item. Many of the community rooms, I've been learning what the community rooms have as their default items as well. Some of them have 500-point P bags, so if you see those, you can learn what has what. Might come in handy when you're routing through a palace. In the large pool there, we just saw Slamu pick up a 200-point P bag. We have red jars and 200-point P bags in the large pool. That's vanilla, but how many of each appear is up to the randomizer. Something that we as users cannot control. We have set the drop frequency to 6, though. So if you're used to playing vanilla and you're used to counting to 6, you might keep that in the back of your head there. There's a red jar on Tabby's side. It does kind of help people understand what is a small enemy versus what is a large enemy. Some of that is not really all that clear. When you look at the physical makeup of the enemies, the Western enemies are only red Dairas, orange Dairas, and blue Gorillas. Those are the only large enemies on the Western continent. See, I like what Patrick's doing here. He's pulling out the, he's separating the enemies, although now he's brought them back together. That's the trick. That's the trick sometimes. We don't have downstab at this point, so if you want to go into palaces, you might have to separate the enemies. Okay, it looks like Palace 3. We're seeing the windows there on Slamu's side. I don't know if we saw those on Patrick's side. Tabby on the edge of a seat as he tries to make these jumps, try not to get hit by these rocks. It's going to be upstab for trails as well. This is not my best moment. There's the the raft. That is the raft right there. So the raft is in 3, and the raft is going to get us off of the Western continent. All right, so we have a cave to DM as well. And at that point, that means the east is going to have a cave that goes to the maze. We know that because this flag set has sort of known values for what is attached to what. Not what goes where, but what is attached to what. So the Western continent always has 2 attachments to Death Mountain and 1 attachment to the Eastern continent. The Eastern continent then has 1 attachment to the maze. This is exactly the same as it is in vanilla, except the modes of transportation are shuffled. So, as you're seeing on the sort of the continent connector overview there, you're seeing that we have a bridge from the west to DM instead of from the east to the maze, right? So it's just the 4 continent connectors we have split between the 4 available connections that we know already exist. So when you determine that there's a bridge and a cave and a raft on the west, if you can mark off the raft going to DM, then you know that you're not going to need the raft. But in this case, we're going to need that raft, and it is going to go... wait, sorry, I had that correct. That's going to go to the east. All right. All that looks good. There's the glove for Slammer as well. Did Trails get the glove? I don't know if he got the glove. Patrick about to get his raft here in Palace 3. Just push the Iron Knuckle out of the way. Trails does not run a tracker, so I can't reference anything on his screen. Looks like Patrick got the magic pixel there, I think. Kind of flew over the top of the Iron Knuckle without taking damage. And here we have Rebo at the top. Try a little down stabless Rebanak. P3 not that big usually. So downstab the Rebo gives anyone trouble. Get the item and get out of there, right? Now the problem here is that the longer this Rebo fight goes on, it can really mess with Rebo's height. This is just a vanilla bug that it's probably very likely that the devs intended you to have downstab at this point. It is completely available to the player prior to going to Palace 3 in vanilla. So they probably expect you to have downstab. Makes the fight incredibly, well, just much easier than doing it without it. But not impossible by any means. Many people at this point, there's been a shift, I think, over the last few years of doing downstabless Rebo X, kind of becoming a standard that a lot of people are just kind of learning. I think back in the day, it used to not be such a thing, and downstab was more or less kind of a requirement that I think almost everyone wanted before they would approach a Rebanak fight. But what can happen is that you're trying to see Patrick. He's trying to joust on the front end, hit him on the backside, and then you can even run up to him as well and smack him in the face as he turns around. But you're also seeing on Patrick's side that he's kind of raising up off the floor. And it seems like you can adjust Rebo's height in a weird way. However that works, not really sure. You'd have to review the code, but if you continue to just kind of joust him in an upward fashion, you can kind of just lift him up on his horse. And it's kind of annoying. The higher he goes, the more difficult it is to get over him when it's time to actually fight him. Well, when it is to actually hit him, I mean. But Patrick gets him off the horse. He's got all 3 hearts. We've got a Hammer Cave on Tabby's side as well. There's some falling crouching stabs. We take a hit. We can't take another. Oh, but we take one there. I didn't even see exactly what happened. It's a game over. I thought I heard a tink, but there must have been one on the low side that caught him in the shin, perhaps. Anyway, we are going to give up on Palace 3 at the moment. We've got that raft. We can get out of there. We can get off the Western continent. It's funny, I'm not sure I even found these bagger encounters when I played, so it's interesting to see several others find it. I'm not 100% certain. I obviously played these about a week ago, and I didn't watch back my own VOD to compare, so it doesn't really matter. But Patrick, going to be the first off of the west, I think. Tabby gets a magic container out of Hammer Cave there. That could be very useful. We do have Nukasudo set to a static 7 containers. It's vanilla value, or it's vanilla requirement. All right, so first on the east is Patrick. Trail's also going to try downstabless Rebo at attack 3. There's that cross coming in handy. You can see those, what would be invisible MOAs on the east. Annoying to fight. They hit like trucks, and things can be a little sketchy, but at least now you can see where the enemy is, and you can do your best to dodge them, although the bat gets them. Sometimes there's a lot of direction your eyes need to move. He gets out of there that time unscathed. He's going to see this Darunia. Here's downstab. Reflect as well. Going to need a child. Going to grab downstab and see where that kid is at. Trails has dismounted Rebo. He's got the 4 hearts, right? He's got that 4th heart out of P4. Might allow him to take 2 hits on this. Depends on exactly what Rebo hits you for. He might have just a sliver of health remaining if he gets hit a second time. He's only got a few hits left. Just slow and steady. Just let him throw, jump in between, hit him again. He's got him. Trio's going to be first to have a gem on the board there. We'll knock Rebo off for him. Slamu going to... Slamu's got the raft. He could be second to the east here. He's just going to up an A and head to the east as well. In a maze lies the child. Perhaps in its vanilla location. Slamu likely also going to be the second one to get downstab here. Patrick just heading back to 4 to get his 1 missing life back there. He's going to head probably west of the desert. or not. You know, looking at the desert there, I don't think it is. But you see desert like that, and I think most runners are going to think that's the double Daruni encounter. I'm not even going to mess with that path. I will say, though, spoiler alert, Maze Island is right over in that direction. We got a water tile here as well. No boots just yet. Downstab for Slamoo. Second to fire that. Tabby looking for... Tabby does not have the raft yet, I don't believe. And if anyone is paying attention when Trails opens his menu, if he has the glove or not, I can mark it down for him. This same thing with these encounters here, right? You see this encounter that Trails is in, that's just always going to be a red jar. When you see certain encounters, you can remember just what it's going to be. Not that you can pinpoint that particular encounter, because all of the minor locations are, they blend in as per the flag set. But, you know, maybe they shouldn't have blended in. I don't know. It does make the East a little bit more difficult if they don't blend in, though. Tabby is going to be getting his raft here, so we'll mark that down. We'll see if he gives Downstablis Rebo a try. He's going to up an A. No, he's not. He's going to save out of there. We see Valley of Death there. We've got 3 rows, I believe. You can kind of look at it that way. 3 rows that go across from east to west here on this eastern continent. I'm going to check this cave on Patrick's side. He knows he's looking for a cave to get to the maze just because of whatever's left in terms of continent connectors. There's the desert tile. There's a forest tile. And that does mean that we are going to need a hammer for a new Kasudo if we want to get in there. At this point, I don't think we've established all of our spells. Slamoo in the same area as well. And Tabby also going to be headed through Parappa Cave. There's a magic container for Patrick. If Tabby sees that, that's going to be his 6th. Slamoo about to grab it as well. Something else that kind of goes under the radar here is going to be that we're not shuffling encounters. So when you see a player get hit on a desert tile with an encounter, it's going to be a desert encounter. When they get hit in the swamp, it's going to be swamp. So something, you know, if you know there are terrible graveyard encounters out there, well, avoid the graveyard as best as you can, right? There's going to be no surprises. Well, the surprise is what's in the encounter, but once you see it, you know what terrain it's going to show up on, and it's pretty easy to match it up with you know, the internal to the external. So there's the maze. Patrick on the maze, Slamoo seeing the maze, Trails getting downstab, and the hint. Tabby walking into the maze. All of our runners in very similar locations, regardless of whatever happened in the beginning there. You know, sort of equalized out. We're seeing Palace 6. Patrick might be the first to go into 6. Just getting a little experience, getting that life level is going to let it ride. Okay. No glove for Trails. Okay, thank you. That's right. Trails is jump. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was the spell that he started with that he wasn't supposed to have. In place of fire, that is. At that point, it wouldn't, like, everyone has fairy, so that was not going to be something that gave him downstab earlier than others. We're taking a magic level on Patrick's side. Fairy still sitting at 53. I think he's trying to get 2 casts of fairy. 1 cast of fairy can be pretty punishing, especially in a Palace 6. You just don't, I mean, Palace 6 can be large. We did do a little custom work on Palace room count in this one. Elendar was kind enough, just absolutely kind of, like, I was blown away that he was willing to make changes to the older version of the randomizer. He's busy working on the beta, the next iteration of the randomizer, and I asked for changes on the older, essentially more stable version right now, and he was totally on board with that. So that was very cool to have happen. But oh, right, Palace room. I was like, what was I talking about? Palace room counts here. Hold on, what am I missing? We're missing... okay, we got the child on Patrick's side. Anyway, palaces 5 and 6 are capped at 28 rooms. That may seem like a lot, but that is around their vanilla room count, and it does stop them from going into the 30s. In the standard version of the randomizer, when you have just your regular plus or minus 10, it doesn't, okay, it's difficult to explain, but palaces 5 and 6 being at the end of their palace pool in the memory banks inside of the ROM, they will take up a lot of space. They will just fill in all of the empty space. And so that in the regular version of the randomizer, they can be into the 30s. They can roll into the 30 room count. And I didn't really want that for this particular flag set. So I was hoping to kind of lower the ceiling, and we did. We brought it down to 28. So while the palaces may still feel long because they're 5 and 6, they will be shorter than, their ceiling is lower than they could possibly be. And every other palace is, their ceiling is brought down by just 2 rooms. Not that big of a difference, but on average, it's going to make, not that anyone's going to feel it, but on average, it will have slightly shorter palaces 1 through 4. All right, so Trails, I think about to see the child here. If this is first drop, we'll just mark it. Tabby sees a River Devil. Yeah, we've got Slamu and Patrick in Palace 6 here. Yeah, second item on the maze is just a pea bag, nothing to worry about. I don't know if Tabby has the child off the maze. He did get the hint, or maybe he didn't. Oh, he didn't. No, he didn't, because he didn't go. He walked west off the raft, didn't he? And that put him in the maze. That's why he was kind of caught up with everyone in the maze there. No, he's got downstab. Is he not? Yes, he has downstab, so he has the child hint. Can I assume he has the child off of the maze? I think... I want to mark him down. Is this the item room? Item room for Slamu here. Tabby taking care of this blue Lizalfo in the way, going to be worth a minimum 200. It is only 200 this time. And that is going to be the flute in 6. Slamu first to pick that up. There is a River Devil in the way. Generally in the randomizer, though, River Devil blocks fairly uncommon. Usually there's another way around the River Devil, but it may be a shortcut. We'll have to just wait and see. Nice slice for Slammer there through the blue Stalfos. Tabby finding this terrible encounter, although with very timid enemies. Trail's seeing that 6 there. It looks like he just wants to get potentially a level. No, he wants a... Whatever's happening there, he's going in now. Is this Palace 2 for Tabby? Yes, okay. So Tabby has found Palace 2 there. It is on the east. All of our runners in the palaces. Trails has joined everyone in Palace 6. Tabby doing his own thing in 2. Looks like he took a left in 2. All right, item room for Patrick as well. Tabby must have seen a dead end there, walking it back to this elevator. Patrick taking a death. We'll just mark him down for the flute, since he's going to use fairy to get through there. We have found Barba on Slamu's side. So not a bad 6 for Slamu by any means. Again, 5 and 6 always the biggest palaces, but Yeah, with Barba being a little bit beefier, Barba has a lot of health in vanilla, so if Barba rolls up, can feel like you might be here for a minute fighting the boss. But that was part of the goal of the flag set, was to make bosses feel like bosses. If you want to go in on a boss at a low level, low attack level, or even a low life level, you're either going to do, less damage. It kind of just ends up being less damage. It's not that you're doing less damage, it's just that the boss has more health. And so it's just going to take more hits. You're going to need more stamina. You're going to need to focus for a little while longer on some of these bosses if you go in at a lower attack level. And you might have to dodge some damage for a little while longer. Something that, once the fight goes on for long enough, if you're beeping, if you've got the beep turned on, if you're low health, you get nervous, helps to keep everything nice and steady. Patrick looking for this jar, not getting it. Typical randomizer. Slimer's got Barba down to the final bar. Here's the item room in 2 for Tabby. It is a pass-through. Doors on the left-hand side. Going to be the boots for Tabby. I don't know if Trails has the flute yet. And that's going to be Barba down for Slamu. Very nice. So Slamu second on the board to place a gem. Tabby's got to take a death here because there is another door. It's kind of back-to-back doors. Something that, and just talking about having one cast the fairy per life can be a little punishing. Slamu going to let that gem ride to the statue. Going to get the 150 here. Going to push him into attack 4. And here's the boss for Tabby. Down to his last hit there on Helmet Head. Still has another life. I don't know if Tabby tried to do the vanilla kill there. Yeah, see, the problem is with the vanilla kill in an elevator room for Helmet Head is that the timing is off, so you generally just get blasted in the face as you start the fight. If anyone wants to, you're more than welcome to try to figure out what the timing is to try to get the vanilla kill to work. But usually I just kind of chill out and fight him a little bit differently. So there's the item room for Trails. He's just kind of looking around. I think he knows he needs to take a death as well. Tabby with Helmet Head on the board. Pals 2. Yeah, Trail's going to take the death. I'm going to mark him down for the flute as well before I forget. So those boots potentially useful. We've got obviously an Islands West that we seem to be missing some stuff from. Some of our locations. I didn't check what all of our runners were missing. It looks like Grass Tile. On Patrick's side, he's missing Grass Tile and Heart Container Cave. On Slamu's side, he also has that marked. He's also missing Magic Container Cave, although it's possible he found that and just didn't mark it off. Alright, Slimer has the child as well. He did hit that drop, which he's hitting again right there. Once again, I missed Tabby's menu. I assume Tabby has the child. It's a fairly safe assumption to make. He's got downstab. That means he was in Darunia. Darunia being Reflect Vanilla today. Or Vanilla Reflect, whatever. Tabby doing some encounter skips on those double Darunia encounters. Finds Palace 1. It's going to go in as well. No reason not to. Patrick's still looking around for this dragon. I do believe Trails is right outside the dragon's room. Yes, here's Barbara for Trails. Ooh, Tabby. He opened his menu. I saw the glove. I don't know why I was looking there. He opened his menu again. And something I didn't really notice is it's kind of the battle of the underscores here. Everybody's got an underscore in their name, and while Trails doesn't, he does have an underscore in his Twitch name. Yeah, like I was saying, Patrick, I think this was, I think these people were maybe treating this as sort of a warm-up seed. So, numbers across the board. Numbers across the board. Very, I don't know if I'd call them interesting, but they're just, there are numbers across the board, that's for sure. Trails does get Barber down. First to place 2 gems, it looks like here. Yeah, Trails on his last life there, and the only enemy behind him was a Doom Knocker. My assumption is that it was not worth risking the game over this deep into the palace, only to then get the same thing you were trying to avoid to begin with. So, the safer option to just take the level and go. I missed what Slammer picked. Oh, he picked up the life spell, okay. Yeah, by all means, Twitch is, of course, on the board there on the stream for helping me with tracking. Yeah, we see that water tile again on Trails' side. We'll see how long it takes Tabby to go back there. Again, he's in one. He got the trophy out of 1. We just got to find the horse. Here's the horse. Horse is an easy boss. Everyone's obviously taking some slightly different paths through the seed, but you're looking at levels of runners. You got 4-4-5 for Slamu. You've got what is about to be 4-5-5 for Tabby. That 11-10 is going to be attack 4. You got 3-5-5 for Patrick, although he will also be 4-5-5 after the dragon. And life spell for Trails as well. He is at 4-5-6. You know, something I didn't say in the beginning is that, you know, if you're not top 4 and you're watching this and you are part of, you know, the other 8 who are not on the stream, you know, pop open your VOD, see where, you know, see how you were comparing, see where you were alongside everyone else. Or don't, you know, maybe you don't want to, that's fine too. That's fine. Life for Tabby. See, that's another thing. I mean, some runners just like to pick up the life spell. That's fine. The other thing about life right here is that it is in a very easy to acquire spot. Old Casuto takes, you know, 30 seconds to walk in and out of, and then you get the spell. So, very easy to pick up. But on the other hand, the life spell in this particular flag set holds more value. I think it really does. It's you know, you're going to have less resources in terms of health for. The seed is going to determine for how long that is, and your path in the overworld and palaces is going to also determine how long you stay without health. But, you know, as a result, you're generally going to have less health, just overall. And the life spell, always giving back 3 bars in this flag set, could be worth picking up for sure. I would say, and I did say this in my overview of the flag set that I just recently put out, that is highlighted on this channel if you want to sort of listen to that. It's a little long, but of course you could speed it up. I said there were times when I was playing this flag set, either one of the qualifiers or at a practice seed, where I probably wish I had life to just keep myself alive for a little while longer. So, yeah, 3-bar guarantee. Yeah, exactly. That was 100%, not an accident that it's like that. You know, I wanted to give people the relief that they would have at least 3 bars of health. Honestly, if I could have made it 4, like if I could have actually just picked the value, I would have made it 4, I think, given how punishing some of this stuff can be. And that would have been really tempting. I think everyone would have been picking up a 4-bar life refill at that point. But yeah, there's a handful of flags. Very nice on Slamu there. You can walk into that little Guma when he's in that position. A handful of flags I wish I could still change. I wish I could have you know, altered some existing flags just a little bit more for a custom setting for this tournament. But it is what it is. Overall, I'll admit that the flag set is a little undercooked still. It needed more time in the oven. But, yeah, I mean, you know, some people weren't enjoying it and have pulled out. Some people weren't enjoying it. They didn't join. Some people aren't enjoying it and they're in. And some people are enjoying it and they're playing it as well. So it's a big mix. It's a huge mix. This is it's standard-esque, but it's also got its difficulty curve to it. Whether the randomizer wants to be friendlier or not is, you know, there's still plenty of randomizer left for it to choose how it rolls things. So I think my tracking is up to date there. We've got Palace 1 down for these runners. I apologize. Oh, we don't have, okay, so we don't have the child yet on Tabby's side because Tabby is up here on the top side looking for items. Apologies about my voice. I did get some tea here, but we've been talking for a while. And another thing there, you know, we're seeing keys drop from bosses. That's not randomized in this flag set either. So, you know, if you get to a boss and you just want to blow life spells, you want to blow your shield spell, if you're concerned about a fairy and reflect costs together, and you're like, oh, I won't have enough to get through the door on Karok, but it doesn't matter. You just got to make it there. You just got to make it there and survive with the reflect spell. One cast of reflect is all you need. You're going to get a key afterwards, and you're going to be able to get through. That is all of that is by design. All of that is by design. There's difficulty curve, but there are also things that the player can rely on. And yeah, that was by design, but you know, you still got to keep the randomizer as the randomizer. And so again, it can be, some things can kind of be bad. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you know, sometimes it is just the randomizer being crappy. And a flag set like this can exacerbate that. It can just really show those moments where it's just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm playing this. What is this seed? You know, we might see that in the next seed. I'm just saying, we might see that in the next seed. Anyway, once again, hope tracking's up to date. Tabby just got the child. Tabby has 1 and 2 down and 6. Tabby, did you do 6? No, you're about to do 6 now, I think, right? We're making it back to the palace. I think we're making it back to the palace. Slamu is in 2 as well. So is Trails. They've both got 1 down because it seems like we have a nice big loop here. Nice big loop on the east. The River Devil was not required, but he was blocking one of the vertical paths on the eastern side of our eastern continent. There's that second drop for Tabby. Here's the boss for they're for both. The Slammers here as well. So the items, you can get the helmet in 2 different ways. Tabby got to it through the item room to the boss, and here you can see the boss on Slamu and Trails' side first, and then the item is actually just going to be upstairs to the right. Whereas, okay, good. Yeah, I did not miss a Barba kill on Tabby's side. I think we're going to do 6 here. Yes, exactly. The blue jar. In the beginning of the flag set, because the experience was lower, I did put a 50-point bag, and then it got increased to a 100-point bag in the small enemy drop pool. But again, because we can't control the frequency at which the items appear, or the order in which they appear in the drop pool, it really felt like sometimes things could be bad. Like, you really wanted some magic back, but you're getting P-bags. And the P-bags were only there for really the early game. They were there just to supplement the early game. But once the early game was over, 50-point and 100-point P-bags, they don't really help you anymore. So the next iteration of the flag set eventually just got rid of the P-bags and just put the blue jars in there, which, honestly, it's a small thing, but my god, have I utilized it? Have I watched others utilize it? If you need to grind, it always sucks to grind. The flag set isn't here to make you grind, but if you need to grind, you know you can. It's sort of a safety. It's a safety net. It's a safety net. And I've used it. Others have used it. You keep a 6 count, right? You keep a 6 count. You're like, all right, you know, when do I, if you kill 4 or 5 small enemies and you know you want to get a 6th enemy kill right near a particular room, you know, and you know there are small enemies in the area, you can set that up. You can set that up. I'm pretty sure Tabby's got the key off the water tile, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if anyone else has seen the water tile just yet. Looks like we're going to get spell on Trails' side. I don't know if we've had any reflect turn-ins. I'm probably behind because I've been gabbing about other stuff. Plus, again, I am looking over at chat a little bit more often here as I try to just talk about other things. All right, Palace 1 for Patrick. Sorry, Patrick also has Helmet Head down. Here's going to be the Flute for Tabby. Yeah, ultimately at this point we've learned that we need the hammer. I don't know if all of our runners have determined that just yet, but we do need the hammer. The Thunder Spell is going to be in New Kasuto. So now it is a hammer hunt. Looks like Water Tile for Slimer as well. Going to be the magic key. Absolutely. Again, another known thing. Something that does create a bit of variable nature to these seeds. Again, randomizer being randomizer. The 50-50 on whether or not the forest tile shows up and or 3-eyed rock. They can show up together. They can show up independently of each other. They're not attached to each other at the hip. They're two completely separate rolls. And so, you know, if they show up, it's random. But when they show up, that forest tile is going to be New Kasuto, and that 3-eyed rock is going to be a random palace. Normally, if we weren't shuffling palace locations, it would be Palace 6. But because we're shuffling palace locations as you do in a more standard setting, it is just going to be any palace. Whereas the town will always be New Kasuto. There is no town shuffle at this point in time, so always going to be New Kasuto. Tabby going to route right to the dragon as well here, right after the flute. Let's see, do I have everything right? Okay, sorry. Slimu has Helmet Head down as well. Patrick. Oh, we're going to reset the room here on Tabby's side. Going to get that Barba right pit spawn. Goes for the no fire. Stands down below. If we had upstab, we could also do some upstab. Upstab the neck of Barba. Does take some fire though as a result. However, has the life spell and can heal up. I don't know if Patrick has the life spell right now. It doesn't look like he's. Oh, you know, he went the other way. He has not seen Old Kasuto or Naburu yet, so he'll be there after Palace 1. Slamu going into Death Valley. We know this is Palace 5. Yeah, that's all we haven't seen is Palace 5 here in Death Valley. All right. The very difficult to take down Horsehead has been taken down by Patrick on his side. And time kind of flies in this. They feel a little longer. Also Barba down. Barba down for Tabby. Right, we're already at the 52-minute mark, and we have, 2 to 3 more gems to place on our runners, and then also Great Palace in front of it. It was meant to be a beefier flag set. I was really aiming for a solid, minimum 75 to 140, 145, somewhere in there. That's what I wanted. I wanted 115 to 140. I think we got that for some runners. And especially routing comes into play. We definitely hit the mark for... seed dependent, of course, but we definitely hit the mark. Although it's a little on the high side. It is a little on the high side. So some of these seeds, they can definitely feel longer. And if you end up leaving that one required item behind and then you kind of have to come back way later, it's just going to feel bad, right? I mean, that's general this feels bad randomizer routing, but what are you going to do? Ultimately, you can choose to never leave an item behind. All right, we're getting Reflect on Tabby's side. I believe, I'm going to be the second to do so because Trails just picked it up as well. So now we can do 4. We can just walk it back at this point. Tabby's going to up an A back to start. I think Trails, if he goes north, he's going back to that raft. And I think he's going to go right back into 4. It's just a raft ride away. Although Tabby has the boots, so not really that far away either. Tabby might be looking for grass tile and or heart container cave. I think at the last 2 checks we have that maybe boots blocked. Oh, he's going to grab the spell here. I assume... Is it safe to assume that we all have jump across the board? Oh, Patrick just got it. Okay. Jump like... Okay, I've got 4 for Patrick. We'll see if Tabby's got jump here. It's going to be out of Naburu. 5th spell down. Yes, okay. All right, so Shield and Mito behind the medicine. And Thunder in Nukasudo. Trail's back in this room that he was in very early on. Oh, here's getting a little beat up, but it was right before... Oh, not Karak, just kidding, not Karak's room. All right, Tabby into 3. Yeah, Slamu is in 5 looking around for stuff. I do remember this 5 being kind of deep. I will say, not that people care, but I will say that I took a game over on Guma on this one. So I took a lot of game overs in this seed. I was, I don't know. You would think I was playing on like Ambient or something. I don't know what was happening. Not sure what was happening in this one for me. Did not play well in this one. Patrick is going to be picking up Reflect here. We found Karak already on Trails' side. Looks like a just hold right type of situation. We did go left early on. Trails did show us the item. He pulled out that heart, right? He is the first one still to have that heart and the only one to have that heart. Although whoever goes into 4 next, they probably know they need the hammer, so they'll probably pull the item out of 4 and everyone is going to have that 4th heart then. All right, let me get some tea in for a moment. Let me mark off Karak for Trails here, but give me just a moment. Okay, I think Trails just picked up that magic key off of the water tile. I don't know if he's got the glove just yet. I think... I want to say he picks up the glove a little late. He's going back down south. He might be just double checking that he didn't miss Nukasudo. Again, with the flag set being what it is, you know, sometimes we play with a shuffled forest tile. So sometimes the forest tile isn't anything but a junk location. So if you're not savvy on the flag set, you might just be thinking, well, maybe Nukasudo isn't behind the forest tile, but it in fact is guaranteed to be back there. All right, Palace 3 down for Tabby. Slamu's still looking around for Guma and the item. All right, Karak for Patrick. All right, Karak down for Patrick. Might be headed back to 3 after this. Knows he doesn't need an item out of there. He's already got the raft out of there, so it's just for the gem. Knows where Rebo is as well. We're going to pass through Horsehead on Slamu's side. The Mutant Horsehead, which has since been fixed in the latest version of the randomizer. Unfortunately, no more Mutant Horsehead and no more Rebo Sharks. We're going to open up a whitehouse.gov petition to get Rebo Shark reinstated. Stay tuned for that. Slim Fast Guma. Yeah, that's a good name. Unfortunately, won't be making any more appearances after this version of the randomizer. Trail's back in the west. Did he see his glove yet? He just had his damn menu open too. All right, Patrick gonna opt to not deal with the blue iron knuckle. Good fairy to get over the what was then a doom knocker as well. Oh, we have found Guma on Slamu's side. Attack 5. This shouldn't be too bad, but man, that could be a single hit. He's got just over 2 bars of health. Okay, that is a single hit right there. Tabby getting caught by the jumping doom knocker as well. Yeah, at full health, life 6. I don't know if this is gonna be a one shot. It's with vanilla, we have vanilla life effectiveness, so it's not that the bosses do more or less damage, right? There's no flag to adjust the boss damage. What the randomizer adjusts is Link's defense, the life stat. It always randomizes the life stat. That's what it is in the game. So, oh, we can take a hit. We can take a hit and we can life up. There's that life spell coming in handy, man. Boy, I wish I had life when I fought Guma on this seed. Just saying. Just saying. And he's got another cast of it too, so he's got essentially 9 bars of health here. There it is, life cast. But make sure you're at full health before you get hit again, or else the instant damage that occurs when you get hit is just going to take you out. Anyways, Slamu gets Guma down first to do so, $700. Are we getting the item out of here? That is the question. Trail's also into 5 here. That's too late, Buck. Too late. Too late. Oh man, Patrick. Are we taking damage on purpose, or are we just kind of stuck? Yeah, so the Iron Knuckles act like that when you jump. When you jump, they will run at you like crazy when you're in a fairy. You're stuck in a jumping state. Got stuck. Okay. It's a trick that vanilla runners use to push back Iron Knuckles. It's a trick that can be used with the rando as well to push back Iron Knuckles, but when you try to fly over them, if you're in a jumping state, they just stick to you like glue, so... You can fly all the way to the floor, and then you're technically out of their sight, and they leave you alone. I'm trying to make sure that I have kind of all of this up to date here. I think... oh no, I don't know. I don't think Patrick has spell. Slamu has reflects. Tabby in the same room. Life up. He's gonna fairy. He's gonna get caught by a beam. He's gonna life up anyway. Is it gonna get him? Oh, hitboxes the fairy just high enough there. Survives. So this game, like the slowdown is so good in this game when you get into really dramatic situations. It just enhances the drama. It's so cinematic. It's like, is he gonna get hit? I don't know. And then it slides by the hitbox. You're like, oh, we made it. We made it. Such a great artifact. The artifact has become the feature. Oof, Patrick almost into the lava there. Tabby looping in this room. That's what this is. Yeah, this is, or no. No, wait, another one of these? Where are we at here? Yeah, it is a loop. It is a loop. There was Magic Container Cave for Slamu. I think that was just a 1-up. Oh, you know Trails doesn't have a glove yet. That's right. I do remember, when I watched this, I do remember his VOD here. Slamu getting... so Slamu left 5. He left 5. He's coming back to the west here. He gets the magic container off of the grass tile, but that looks like Heart Container Cave right there, probably boulder blocked. This is going to be that heart for Patrick. I believe Tabby got... someone else got the heart as well. Yeah, Tabby's got 4 hearts, so... All right, Slammer coming into 3. He says no. I think he needs 3 still. Yeah, according to his tracker, he needs 3 and 4. He might just still be kind of cruising around looking for a potential Heart Container Cave elsewhere. right, slam him into 4. He's got to have Reflect. I'm going to mark him down for Reflect. Patrick probably also looking around for that Heart Container Cave as well. Yeah, from where you had seen that before, it looked like a boots blocked cave, but I mean, while it is just Fairy Cave from the other side. Tabby on Karok. Trail's still looking for the boss here. Oh, are we headed? Okay, we hit a dead end. Or are we headed backwards? That room had no enemies in it. I don't know. Trails might be turned around. I'm not 100% sure here. All right, Karok down for Tabby. Just needs to go into Death Valley and fight Guma. And at this point, where's our hammer? Where's our hammer? 5? That's all we have left, right? We've seen what was in Hammer Cave. We've seen everything else. It is in 5. Slamu was in 5 earlier. Would have been the first to have the hammer. That required hammer, but dipped out. So now, I believe Tabby has done everything else. So he just knows that the hammer is in 5. Because he has done hammer. He might be the only one to have done Hammer Cave. He's got 7 bars of magic. Everyone else has 6. So yeah, that 7th one from Hammer Cave was Tabby being the only one to jump in there. Apologies, I'm readjusting here as I'm watching. All right, Karok for Slamu as well. Wow, Slamu positions really close to Karok. Karok can not go past the 50-yard line there, the halfway point in the room when he's harder Karok, and you could still stand close to it, but you might get just point-blank shot. I used to stand all the way on the edge of the screen. Some people still do that. You know, whatever helps you separate yourself from the beams, so you can kind of gauge where the sine wave is and where the high-low is. You know, just where your shield's going to need to be positioned. You give yourself more time. I stand somewhat near the pillar there and kind of move around based on the beam pattern. All right, Tabby into 5, and yeah, Trail's still in this 5, looking around. All right, we've got Rebo. Rebo round 2 for Patrick. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of utilization of the life spell, and it's like I don't want people to feel like they're getting beat up too much, but I want people to feel like they have that, again, that sort of safety, like the guaranteed safety that while I am getting beat up, it's kind of okay because I can cast life. But then again, if Fairy is expensive, you know, that life cast might not be available as often. So there we go. We've got Slamu placing a gem in 4. We've got Patrick placing his gem in 3. What does Patrick have left? He doesn't have water tile marked off on his own tracker. So I don't know if he's got the key. We'll see here in a second as he menus. He's not going to menu, of course. Yeah, Trails has been in this 5 for a hot minute. I think he's gotten turned around at some point. If I'm remembering correctly, there is a branch right near the end of this palace, and it's like one side of that branch is several rooms to Guma, and the other side of that branch is several rooms to the item room. But that branch is a bit deeper into this Palace 5. Like, this Palace 5 does not feel that exciting to push through, but all right, East Medicine. I don't know if we had seen that. We probably had seen that before from someone, but East Medicine at this point makes sense. We only have Palace 5 left. We're missing Spec Rock, of course, with no hammer. And we're missing both the items in Nukasudo with no hammer, so. Upstab for Patrick. Oh, okay, yeah, he had not come back. He had not come in here to get upstab early on. And again, something I worry that people might have, like, not... It's drilled into your head from years of playing this game that Mito has downstab and upstab is in Darunia. But swapping them around, I know some people are absolutely going to think that feels bad, but it is just part of the flag set here. Just, you know, we're on. There's a definite side quest to go get downstab now, right? It's a side quest. The side quest might be easy though, right? Darunia might be the first town right as you land on the east. You never know. You might have a dry canyon east, and it might be easy, super easy to get to. You never know. Every sea is going to be different. We took Karaguma on Trails' side. That is all 6 gems, but we still need a hammer. Water tile for Patrick. Here we go. Light it up. So he now knows it's like, well, I think for Patrick it's either going to be Hammer Cave or P5. What are we going to choose? We have to do P5 anyway. Hammer Cave, probably the easier check, but again, you still got to do P5. You can't escape going into that palace. Mirai not in the top 4. And I'm glad that I wasn't in the top 4 for some of these. I don't really like watching myself. I did not really going to commentate on myself all that well. I don't really want to, like I won't focus too much on myself if I'm ever in these top 4s. If I'm ever on a Restream, period. So there's our pass-through horsehead room for Tabby. He, I believe, is on the way to Guma. We had several of these rooms that all looked like this. Oh, here's the branch, right? Here's the branch, right? So I think it's up and right to Guma and just stay down. Here's going to be the glove for Trails. So what did we see? I believe what we saw was a glove block in 5. I believe it was a glove block in 5. Trails found it and had to get out of there. So the glove is blocking the hammer. That's what it came down to. We have found Guma on Tabby's side, but he's just going to back out of here and go back to that branch. I think it's all that he's got left. Life spell coming in handy. Yeah, shield. Shield is then also locked in Nukasudo. So it's really nice that life was easily picked up in this one. Patrick in the 5 as well. Oh, we've got, instead of going back to 5, Trails, after getting the glove, has opted to just go to Hammer Cave instead of going all the way back to Death Valley. So this is ultimately setting Trails back a little bit here. Not having that free glove. It was pretty free. It was not boots required. The other 3 runners did have it before leaving the West. And Trails just opted to just skip that cave and move on. All right, there's Guma down for Tabby. He's looking for that hammer. Patrick refusing to check off the candle and the cross on his own tracker, always making me think that he's missing more stuff than he is whenever I glance at it. I think Hammer Cave was far, it was all the way on the west side. Right along the western mountain border. All right, Tabby back to that junction. Gonna head right. Yeah, I remember there being somewhat of a... There's one loop, I think, in this palace. I think Patrick's in it right now. You go up and right, and you end up in the bottom left here in this 3-level elevator. And so then from this point forward, I think it's just hold right to the next junction. Yeah, there wasn't really too many decisions to make in this palace, but you could make the correct decision ahead of time. Tabby almost falling off the edge there. Fairies at the last moment. Another block here, so we're going to need to take a death if we can't cast jump. We can cast jump, it looks like. This is going to be the heart and 4 for Slamu. I think Slamu now... Has he seen Hammer Cave? He has not, so he might head to DM right now. Here's going to be the item room in 5. Did we mess this up? Or... There it is. It is our hammer. That is going to give Tabby access to Nukasudo and get him the Thunder Spell and whatever else he wants out of there. He's got everything else. He can get the tower, he can get the shield spell, he can get what's in the basement. We do know the medicine is in the east. Oh, wait, no, wait. What did I say? Shield. No, Thunder is in Nuka. Shield is in Mito. I'm sorry. Dude, come on now. Yeah, so Thunder is in Nukasudo. Shield is in Mito. Here's Hammer Cave for Trails. This will just be his 7th container. So it must be 8th. Well, okay. 8th container can either be in Nukasudo or Spec Rock. And then the other hearts. So we have 3 locations. One of them's medicine. One's a container. One's a heart. What am I missing? Oh, Heart Container Cave is also in the mix. So there you go. Heart Container Cave, which is boulder blocked. All right, Patrick going to check up and right. There's a container for Trails. Slamu coming back for his Rebanak fight. All right, Guma. Guma round 1 for Patrick. Getting ready for that live cast just in case we need it. Rebo down. Nukasudo entered for Tabby. Slamu either going to have to opt for Hammer Cave or back to Palace 5. Heart in the basement. Death for Patrick. And Trails is also making his way back to Palace 5 as well. Yeah, here we are at the 76-minute mark, right? I mean, the reason not to go into 5 early is because, you know, enemies are a bit beefier. You might not have the levels that you're comfortable with fighting Guma. And so, you know, most people are not just going to jump into Death Valley. Just happened to be where a required item was today. Guma down for Patrick. Everybody's got all of their gems placed. We just need that hammer. I believe we've gotten the Thunder Spell on Tabby's side. We're going to check the tower as well. This is going to be our medicine. We know this from the hint. Will we turn it in for the shield spell, though? Mino is close by GP, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. It's right here. He is going to turn it in for shield. Oh, Tabby has all 6 containers, all 6 hearts now. I didn't see where we got that 6th one. Did we just go into? Oh, did we do? We did something before going to Nukasudo. I wasn't watching. All right, Slammer's going to check Hammer Cave here. Hammer for Hammer Cave. Hammer Cave for Hammer. Patrick at the junction. There's a few more rooms to the item. How far back is Trails? Just a few rooms back for Trails here. Shield for Tabby. Probably a good pickup, right? This is something, this is the... You know, if you haven't played these GPs before, these GPs can be a little rough. And, you know, taking an extra minute to pick up a shield spell may save you several minutes. Several minutes in this great palace. Several minutes, man. Oh, several minutes. Here we go. First in the GP, barrier up. 78-19 for Tabby. We can change audio here if I have this set up properly. Boop, and... something like that, I believe. All right, here's the hammer for Patrick. Where's my mouse cursor? Where's he going first? Is he going right back to Nukasudo? Is he going to check Heart Container Cave for an extra container? He does know that the medicine is in the east as well. No, it looks like we're walking right back to that raft tile. We're going right over to New Casuto. Will he get the medicine? It is going to be in the spell tower. Did he get the spell? I don't think Patrick got the spell, so probably no spell tower for Patrick. Got birds. We've got some birds here. Oddly enough, these GPs, I say oddly enough, but man, the whole mindset behind the slightly longer GP was simply that I was just tired of seeing, like, 6-room Great Palaces, where Thunderbird's right up front and Darklink is on the first elevator. And it's kind of a meme, right? It happens so often, it's kind of become a meme with shortened GP. Shortened GP's room range can be anywhere between 27 and 40 rooms. I don't bother to count the rooms. I don't bother to look at the editor too often to see how many rooms are in these shortened GPs, but I asked Elendar for sort of an in-between setting, because back in SGL 2021, we used full GP back then. And full GP's range is, I believe, 54 to 60 rooms. 54 to 60 rooms. That's a lot of rooms in a palace. Now, I don't mind a full GP. I think it can be quite the challenge, but I think most people hate full GP. And as a result, I didn't want people to hate too much about this flag set. So I wanted something just in between, I wanted to make sure that GP had a little bit of girth to it, a little bit of length, a little bit of girth, and people would feel it. And I will say that some of these Great Palaces, wow, you feel it. You feel it. You certainly do. There's always a right way to walk, and someone could have a better GP than the next person. But I will say that sometimes when you're full clearing these bad boys, you do feel it. And so far, a few I've looked at, they've just been high 30s. I've seen one that was 42 rooms, things like that. So we haven't seen, the medium setting is anywhere between 34 and 48 rooms. So, on the low end, it's going to be sort of an average short GP. On the high end, it's going to be, just a little bit higher. A few rooms higher than a full shortened GP, but full GP is still, still far away with its range. And Patrick also into GP now. I will say that when I entered GP, I felt so far behind with all the stuff I'd been doing that I took an immediate left. I did not see the dead end to the right. It does go to that landing room, and I did not see that. I did not see that stuff over there. I went straight left. There was no way I felt so bad playing this seed. I felt it was all on me. I mean, I took so many game overs. It was all on me. And so by the time I walked in here, I have no idea when I walked in here, but it was definitely after these guys. There's the dead end for Patrick. He's going to up an A and start that one over. Trails has the hammer. He's going back to New Casuto. Slamu, unfortunately, Slamu was the first one into Palace 5. The first one with Guma dead, and the first one to then leave Palace 5 as well, but also leaving behind that required hammer. Had Slamu pulled this hammer out of this Palace 5, he would have been probably the first one into Great Palace. Probably, very likely. But I think he just played the odds. He just had more checks elsewhere. And I'm not sure if he was kind of paying attention to the length of Palace 5. I do remember Palace 5 feeling longer. I mean, just because there weren't many junctions in Palace 5, so there were just a lot more straight pass-throughs, which just means that, you just have to travel more rooms throughout the Palace. But, yeah, having to do essentially 2 Palace 5s just feels pretty bad. Feels pretty bad. And he's taking a left here, which I think this is going to take him right back around to the 3-level elevator. He's got to go down right at the first elevator, and then just hold right all the way through. All right, I think we've got at that I junction that Patrick was just at, I think that's a loop up there. And so just holding left from the start. Yeah, Patrick not happy about that. The 4-tile jumps here. This is a tough room anyway, man. This room is practically a fairy candidate. It's almost like a fairy block. There's usually just too much shit in this room to get anything done. And those 4-tile jumps on top of it are horrendous at times. Just horrendous. If you're good at 4-tile jumps, it's going to be a better room for you, but still there could be birds and fast bubbles and generators flying through there. I mean, it's rough. It's rough. So this is going to be Thunder for Trails. Looks like he got the heart out of the basement as well. No medicine pickup, though, I don't believe. Oh, there was another junction here. I'm sorry. There was another junction here in 5. Right, this 4-way. Or was this a loop into itself? All right, 2 blue birds and an emoji. I think we just saw this a moment ago. All right, get the birds together. Although, yep, up and over. They can still clip into the emoji, but you know, you're moving fast enough. You get away from them. Dead end for Slamu here. Trail's looking around for GP. There's a left and a right there on this elevator that Patrick is on. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say that that elevator, both paths I think were correct, but I could be wrong. There's one GP in this set of qualifiers that's true. Another ferry room like that had a loop between it, but I'm not 100% sure if it was this seat or not. I've watched so many VODs. Oh, this room right here is very terrible. This is the room. I took 2 game overs in GP in this area. It was very infuriating as Tabby walks right through. Tabby walks right through it, right to Thunderbird. Easy game. Easy game. He's beeping, though. He's beeping. He's got to take a death as it is. I don't know what our Thunder cost is. Expensive Thunder is also another custom flag in this flag set in this version of the randomizer. It does make it so that Thunder cannot fall below 72 magic. You're always going to need 5 bars to cast Thunder. Looks like it's 76 at Magic 7. Anybody coming in with less? Nobody's going to come in with less. Slamu is going to come in with Magic 6. We'll see if it changes. For him, I haven't been paying attention. Oh, he doesn't have it yet, right? I'm looking at his spell book there, but he doesn't have it. It's in, obviously, Hammer Blocked Nukasudo. Oh, yes, an aggressive Thunderbird, right. We start the fight out, and Thunderbird is throwing just as many fireballs as he does in the back half of the fight. So instead of the full rain of fire at only 50% and below, it is full rain of fire from 100% to 0. So it does slightly change the fight up a little bit, but it's still a Thunderbird fight. He just throws a little, you know, if you can dodge fireballs for the back half, you know, you just got to dodge more fireballs for the front half as well. It does keep you on your toes a little bit more. It certainly does. If you got a shield cast, if you have a life cast, if you've got more hearts, you know, you might not have found many hearts. Tabby's got all 6 here. The other runner's got 5. Oh, Patrick has 4. Okay, Patrick has 4. And he's about to enter into this terrible room. This room, man, pure RNG in this room. Over the top. Oh, beautiful block. Oh, is he going to land? He's going to fairy. Perfect. Perfect. Easy game. Easy game for Patrick. Easy game. Tabby has Thunderbird down. Darklink's going to be back here somewhere. Trail's walking into G. Oh, no, he's been in GP. Oh, no, that's right. Patrick is... Patrick does not like to take deaths on Thunderbird. He likes to die in the previous room if he can. That is something I've learned. Something I've learned. Anyway, Trails had up an aid because he was already in here, so he must have saw that dead end to the right. Yeah, this is not a bad pattern, I don't think. Sometimes you think, sometimes it feels like, well, it's blue in the background and the fireballs are red, but sometimes the red really doesn't stand out all that well. It really depends on your screen. It really depends on just your vision as a player, how big your screen is. You know, there's many variables at play here depending on how this goes down. There you go. Patrick's got Thunderbird down as we walk in the Darkling's room on Tabby's side. Full health, life 7. I have a feeling Tabby might be taken first in this one. All right, Slamu about to, hold on, let me write this down. Slamu has the hammer, about to get Thunder. You can also change over. There it is. Tabby, we're going to just pause it because Tabby immediately cuts the video. And I don't have any winning markers, so apologies, but Tabby is going to be taking first there. GG to Tabby in this first async here. Is Patrick going to take second? At this rate, it's looking likely. Slamu walking in now. Just sub 90. Again, we did already offset for the trail start, so Trails is on correct time as per our own timer. I don't have clean audio on either one of the runners, so when our clean audio people go out, that's ultimately going to be it. All right, we're lifing up. And this is going to be a chance to kind of catch up, so I can pause here, catch up on chat. And there it is, second place. Patrick, probably amazed that he ended up second place, given the way that his seed started. A few excess deaths, probably not too happy with everything. Actually, you know what, here, I can let it play out just a scotch more. He doesn't cut immediately like Tabby does. We can do Triforce here. We can do Triforce. Perfect. Okay, beautiful. And again, we don't have clean audio on Slammer or Trails aside. So as they make it through, let me just catch up here real fast. Found to like aggressive Thunderbird more than regular, not having to pay attention to the life. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. It's just always aggressive. You're just kind of always watching. Yeah, you know, that's true. I never really thought of it that way. That's very true, though. Not having to worry about, am I going to hit him, right? Am I going to hit him now? Am I going to put myself in a position in this room, in this arena, to where it's going to start raining down fire and I'm going to be in a bad spot? Right. That's never considered that. That's a great point. It's another plus for aggressive Thunderbird. Are these two in the same room? They are. No. You know, Slammo hits the dead end. Did Trails not see this dead end? I'm not 100% sure what Trails saw the first time. Did he hit a drop somewhere? I'm a little rusty on exactly what these GPs look like, and I've always, when watching Forerunners, sometimes hard to keep palace layouts straight in your head as you're just kind of watching them all just go in random directions. So Slammo knows it's a left here. T-Bird knows when you want to get hit, and yeah, manages to miss you when you want to die. Exactly. Of course. Coming up in the unclean audio. Oh, man. Yeah, we will look at the, when these runners are done here, we will look at the seed asyncs results for the first seed. Then we'll take a quick break as I set up for the second race, the second top four, and then we'll get that show on the road. I don't want to cut these runners short, though. Although, I don't know, we could just go through. We're definitely going to run over. I think we're definitely going to push into the very beginning of the Upstarts race that's happening in just less than 2 hours. Obviously not on this channel, but I think it's either going to be on ZSR if they can get a full crew, or VT Slacker has said that he might just do a bootleg watch party on his side if there's no crew. My voice is going to be resting during that time because we're doing these two, then rest, and some other administrative stuff for getting links and stuff ready, getting the challenge stuff ready, all that stuff at the same time during the Upstarts race. Probably having another little meal, and then making sure I'm set up for the third seed as well. A lot going on. It has been a rough last 2 days. So Trails is now experiencing this room, but doing a good job as well. This is what I did as well. I took the crumble bridge out from below the enemies and just made them jump in. But man, did the enemies just not want to cooperate for me. They just did not want to cooperate for me. I ended up taking my first trip through that room. I made it without any problems, like Patrick and Tabby did. And then I took a game over to Thunderbird. Of all things, I had 2 lives on Thunderbird. I took a game over. I think I had 2 lives. Oh, Slammo into the hole here with the Bluebird. And then on my way back in, I took a game over in the room upstairs. Needless to say, I was a little upset. I was a little upset with all of all of those events occurring. Yeah, I had probably taken 5 unnecessary game overs in this one at least. It just was not my best work either. Not my best work either. But that can happen. That can happen. That's a thing. Better runners are they find standard really easy, but there are things in this flag set that can catch you, no matter the skill level. If you're not careful, if you're overconfident, if you're a little cocky, or if you're in kind of a bad room that has a lot of RNG in it, it can catch you off guard. We'll see if Trails can get through this Thunderbird. He does have attack 5. Something else to note that I've talked about in my overview as well is that Thunderbird, the randomizer does not shuffle Thunderbird's health. Thunderbird has 192 hit points. In vanilla, that's true in randomizer, although in the future that may change. I don't know. That's not up to me, but he's always had untouched, unshuffled, static vanilla health. Of course, what changes in the randomizers when we generally run like standard flag sets, we play with random effectiveness. And so you never know what your attack effectiveness is. So you never really know how many hits Thunderbird is going to be at any given attack level, other than attack 1, which I think is the same regardless of the effectiveness level in the randomizer. I think it's always 2. Or no, actually, if you set low attack, it's actually 1. It's actually 1, so it's even worse. On top of that, though, with the SGL attack effectiveness, we have a static attack effectiveness across the board. So on attack 6, Thunderbird is always 16 hits. On attack 5, Thunderbird is always 24 hits. On attack 4, Thunderbird is always 32 hits. So keep that in mind that, you definitely get a reduction in the amount of hits that enemies required, that are required to kill the enemy. And that's very true of Thunderbird. So, if you can do 16 hits, can you do 24? Can you stay alive for 24 hits of Thunderbird? Probably, right? Probably. Anyway, Trail's taking 3rd there overall. GG to him. Slamu bringing up the rear in this top 4. Still very good, as much as Slamu has been sort of a voice for the flag set. Not the biggest fan, but still always appreciate people putting themselves outside of their comfort zone. Seeds are seeds, randomizer. You play enough of them, you understand that, things can be good, things can be bad, and certain flag sets can just make bad things feel worse. I get it, but this GP is kind of crazy. But I've said this from the beginning, and I'm not going to change. I think it's incredibly true that, like, if you stick with this flag set for at least a little while, you're going to have to learn tricks. You're going to have to learn to be a little bit more flexible in some of these rooms. You're going to have to learn how to operate on lower resources because the game just kind of forces it on you at a minimum in the beginning of the game. Or this flag set just forces it on you at a minimum in the beginning of the game. And so if you play this, if this doesn't beat the shit out of you and exhaust you to death before standard starts in a few months, it's very likely you're just going to be better for standard. You're going to feel that you're going to roll a standard flag set seed and you're going to be like, oh God, this feels so good. I'm so good at this. I feel that that's going to be true if someone is actually adapting and has time to put a little bit of time into this flag set. I think that's going to be absolutely true. So felt proud, not game overing, farming jar post Thunderbird in the seat. But the only thing I say about it, I mean, MTS, you've been. I don't know how much offline practice you've been doing between last tournament and this one. This is, again, not a super ultra friendly, things can roll pretty tough. And so, if you're just kind of, this isn't the best flag set to de-rust the game with, but, anyone is welcome to do that. So, if you're de-rusting, you'll definitely feel the heat on that one. So here's Slamu. He did take the death. He's casting Fairy. Oh, he just goes right over the red bird. What a kind red bird. They're going to just jump in the red bird goes in. The blue bird. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Yeah, easy game. Easy game. But Slamu's on his last life. He's got enough for Thunder. He's got 80. If he's got 80-ish, it's 76. It's still 76 at Magic 6. So it's at 7 and 6, it was still 76. So as long as it makes it through here, I was going to point out that Slamu not using the Dragon Lord sprite. I don't know if he's, I know the rules. Some of the rules have been poked fun at in this tournament, but one of them is not that you can't use custom sprites. Just want to put that out there. So I don't know. I don't think he used Dragon Lord at any of his qualifier asyncs. I'm pretty sure he just played Link in all of them. Victor Santa Fe in chat. Sounds tempting. Well, Victor, unfortunately, the tournament begins tomorrow. So you're more than welcome to play the flags, but the tournament is it is the entry. The signups are closed at this point. But welcome in, my man. Welcome in. Yeah, Slamu through there, making it look easy, right? Making it look easy, making aggressive Thunderbird look easy. He's gonna have to get the jar out of here. This is a forced fairy block, as we had seen already. This is a tricky jump for some people. I feel like we need a tutorial here. But yeah, you see a lot of people will just attack the edge, kind of give themselves a bit of acceleration off the edge, get up there, and then God forbid you do this with no crumble bridge below you. Luckily getting a jar there. Now he's just going to check to see if this is the fake out room, because there is a community room that starts just like this, but actually doesn't require fairy. Although there is a crumble bridge on it, so you might still want fairy queued up. And here it is. He's going to have this down. Yeah, very nice across the board. Again, we're looking to close this up at about 141 and some change here for Slamu. Everyone else took longer than that. Some people not too much longer though. You know, we're kind of seeing classes of players, like skill levels bunched together, but sometimes that's deceptive based on when you find particularly, a specific item and whatnot. So we'll pause this here after he gets the Triforce up, and we will take a look at this layout here of the results. So he's got that. So GG to our runners again. Tabby up in first, Patrick in second, Trails in third, and Slamu in fourth here. Let me, because it's a little bit of a mess on getting these things up. Oh, let me stop my own timer. Clearly we've got that, and I'll bring this up. And this is seed one, and we can look at this overview here. The async number one results. There are your times. There are the points. We did just rip this from Upstarts. So if it looks familiar, that's exactly why. There's a URL down there, which is the event page. But right now, this document is not being shared publicly simply because it does contain the spoilers of the finishes for seeds 2 and 3, as well as the seeding results themselves. So there are the results. Pickles and Beer coming in right behind Slamu, and right ahead of me there, 6-second difference. Again, I said I took like 5 game overs in this one that were very unnecessary. Shaddy right behind me. Me thinks so. There he is, MTS, J. Coper, Oboe, Gob, and Custom. Big props to Custom. I want to just give a shout out there. He is brand new for the most part to Z2R, and his race is actually tonight against the Nitsu, game 1, Custom and a Nitsu for the Upstarts brackets. This flag set is likely well outside of his wheelhouse, and so he is trying this out. He's definitely outside of his comfort zone. He has said that he doesn't mind the flag set, but of course, as I've repeated numerous times throughout this particular stream here, this is meant to be a more difficult flag set, and so he's trying it. He's doing it, and again, props to him. But yeah, let's take a break here. Again, you can screenshot that if you want, and we will be back in a moment. I got to keep everything kind of hidden. Let me update the time on this. Anyway, yeah, let me mute myself. We're going to cut the YouTube stream for a moment. I see you down there, Victor. I am just going to update so I can break it up on YouTube more easily. We're going to keep the Twitch stream going because it's very easy to just create highlights. Anyway, we will be right back with the second async seed shortly.